If you've been questioning your business direction, maybe you're thinking about starting a business, or you have an existing business that you want to pivot, or you simply have a decision to make in your business, and there's a couple different avenues that you can take, and you keep spinning out about it, questioning, doubting, and wondering what the correct next step truly is for you. My intention with this video is to bring you some relief. We're going to explore a specific part of your Gene Keys chart that will help you find the insight that you need to move forward with grace and confidence. If we haven't met yet, I'm 𝐿. I'm a Gene Keys guide for entrepreneurs, and I specifically guide purpose-driven business owners through their Gene Keys Pearl sequence as a way to align their vision, mission, message, offer, brand, essentially their business with who they are, what they value, and how they are naturally designed to show up in the world. So if that sounds like you, please consider subscribing. I've found myself in this place looking for direction a couple of times throughout my entrepreneurial journey. The first time was a major pivot from health coaching in the autoimmune space into the human design niche. And from there, I made a more minor pivot from human design into the Gene Keys, and specifically as a way to help entrepreneurs grow their business in alignment with who they are and what they value. So do know that no matter where you are right now, whatever decision you're faced with, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I will say that the Gene Keys played a major role in helping me find that internal validation and confidence to know that I was on the right path, and that if I kept trusting myself and following my heart, I would end up exactly where I was meant to be. What I will also say is that whatever decision you decide to make, decisions lead to action, and action is what leads to clarity. So no matter what you decide, no matter which direction you go in, it's going to move you more into alignment with exactly where you are meant to be as well. Before we take a look at your chart, there's a really important question that I need you to ask yourself. And this is going to determine whether you truly don't know the direction that you want to go in, or you do know, but there's some doubt and discomfort around the decision. So take a moment to ask yourself, in my heart of hearts, do I actually know what direction I want to take? Whether it's committing to choosing a niche, an idea, an offer, a pivot. If I knew 100% that my decision would lead to success, would I be able to make this decision today? If the answer is yes, that's fantastic. That is a major first step, making that decision about your direction. Now, as we move into exploring your chart, you'll get further validation that you're on the right track so that you can wholeheartedly commit to moving forward with no further doubt. And if your answer was no, I genuinely don't know which direction to go. I don't know what my starting point is. I'm feeling very unclear right now. We're going to use your chart to get your wheels turning and to help you find that initial sense of direction. Before we go any further, I want to make sure that you have a copy of your Gene Keys chart. I've linked a PDF in the description and comments below. It's called the Purpose to Profit Blueprint. It has a link for you to download your Gene Keys chart. It also outlines the gene key that we're about to jump into. Spoiler alert, it's the vocation sphere. We're going to look at the vocation as a way to get really grounded in your business decision and direction. And from there, I've also mapped out your next steps. So the next places that you're going to go and explore once you have made your decision. So grab that now. We'll take a brief little pause for you to grab that before we dive into talking about the chart. So once you have your chart, we're going to be looking at this blue sequence at the top here, and you can actually navigate down to prosperity and click on that so that it zooms in and there's less information to deal with, which can make this a bit easier to understand at first. We are looking at the vocation sphere over here. I do have another video where I describe what each component of the chart is and what everything means, and I will also link that in the description if you want to know more about navigating your chart. But for today, we're looking at the vocation sphere, and this represents your true calling in life. It's the inner drive that inspires you to pursue meaningful work, a specific kind of work where you can express your gifts and your talents and make a positive contribution to the world. And typically when you're facing a decision or a direction change, it's this vocation sphere, this inner calling or mission that is motivating you to do something different. That is why we begin by looking at this part of your chart. Beside the vocation sphere, you'll see 3 words. The bottom word represents your shadow. And the shadow is kind of the default way of being that we humans fall into, especially when things are not going well or when we're faced with discomfort. So in a business or career context, when we look at vocation, the shadow prevents you from making decisions. It keeps you doubting and spinning your wheels. It prevents you from choosing a niche, from deciding on an offer, from owning your expertise, going after your dream business, fulfilling your deeper purpose. So this shadow is where we as humans default to in the face of change, discomfort. It's ultimately run by our logical thinking brain and our ego, and it really just keeps us safe and from pursuing what we want to pursue and from reaching our full potential. The second word that you see here is your gift. And the gift is what helps you step into the version of yourself that does make the decision, the version of you that chooses the niche, decides on the offer, owns your expertise, goes after your big goal, and ultimately fulfills your deeper purpose. When you embody this gift energy or frequency, this is what makes it possible to take the aligned action that you need to take in order to move forward toward building your dream business. And finally, this word on top is called the city. We're not going to talk too much about that today, but the city is really your highest expression of your gift. I'm going to be hosting a 3-day challenge coming up soon where I'll talk more about the shadow and the gift and how to actually move from your default shadow patterns and into your gift frequency so that you can build the business that you've been dreaming of. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'm linking it below as well to join the notification list. So when the date and time becomes available, you'll be the first to know. But what I recommend doing for now is getting familiar with the line of your vocation sphere. That's the number that comes after the decimal point. So if you click on your vocation, it brings up a whole bunch of information for you. You can read about your shadow, your gift, your city, and at the bottom is your line. And again, this is where I recommend that you start because it's a lot more straightforward and easier for your brain to digest. The shadow and the gift are more nuanced themes, and they can be quite wordy. So all you have to do is start reading and you'll see what I mean, that it takes a little bit more digestion and incubation time to understand what the shadow and the gift actually mean. But the line can be quite straightforward. So start reading about your line and see, does it further confirm that you're moving in the right direction? And does it help validate the decision that you have made? And if you're one of those people who is still stuck spinning your wheels in indecision, did reading about your line give you any insight into your direction? Again, I will be hosting a 3-day experience where you can come and learn about this for free. We'll talk more about the shadow and the gift. You can get on the priority list by just clicking the link in the description below. And let me know in the comments, what are your questions? I know the Gene Keys can be a lot to absorb and understand at first, and I'm totally here to help. So Let me know what your questions are and I will reply.